There is a holy whisper traveling through the silence of time, and it is now rushing directly toward you, guided by the mighty hand of Archangel Michael himself. For the heavens have witnessed something that your eyes have not yet seen, something delivered not by earthly post, but through divine orchestration. And now, at this very moment, you stand on the edge of revelation as a mysterious letter, no ordinary correspondence, makes its way into your life with purpose, power, and prophecy. Because what you are about to receive carries with it the vibration of your highest destiny, the secrets long buried beneath your daily burdens, and the healing balm of answers to prayers you've nearly forgotten you prayed. And yet they were heard, they were recorded, and they are being responded to now in a form you could never have expected. And though this letter is cloaked in mystery, what it carries will unveil clarity like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. For God has appointed this time and this message to shake you from the spiritual slumber that routine and suffering may have lulled you into. And Archangel Michael, protector of divine truth and warrior of heaven's light, has already encircled your home with his celestial army, ensuring that nothing of darkness will intercept what is meant for your spirit alone. And as you read these words, a vibration is stirring in your soul because you can sense it. Something is shifting, something unseen but undeniable is approaching with sacred urgency. And you need to prepare not just your home but your heart, for what arrives at your doorstep will not be sealed in wax, but in destiny, and you must open it with faith and with reverence. For it is not paper you will be unfolding, but a part of your divine script that had been paused for too long, hidden until the precise moment your soul was ready to receive what it once feared might never come. And now you must ask yourself, are you ready to receive a message that might disrupt the ordinary and demand your attention like thunder cracking the sky? Because God is not sending this letter for decoration. He is sending it for direction, for healing, for awakening, and it will not come through a mailman. It will come through an encounter, through a dream, through a word spoken by a stranger who knows not what they carry, but who has unknowingly been assigned to deliver what is sacred. For heaven uses vessels both aware and unaware to move its mysteries into motion. And this letter is the first of many signs that your season of questioning is transitioning into a season of divine disclosure. And though the world around you may carry on in ignorance, you have been marked, selected, and summoned to see what others overlook, to hear what others dismiss, to receive what others have not been called to receive. Not because you are better, but because you are ready. And readiness is not proven by perfection, but by the ache in your spirit that has cried out in secret, God, please, I need to know you still see me. And the answer, the confirmation, the divine yes, is now echoing through the spiritual realm in the form of this mysterious message. And Archangel Michael stands by with sword drawn, ensuring that nothing and no one interferes with what is coming. For this moment was foretold in the realm beyond time, and all things have been aligned for this unveiling to find you. And when it does, you will understand why you had to wait, why you had to walk through valleys, why you were kept from certain people, why delays stacked upon disappointments. For this letter does not just carry a message, it carries your explanation, your realignment, your release, and it may not be written in ink, but in fire. It may not use words the way people do, but you will know what it says because your soul has already read it in your dreams, already felt it in your tears, already whispered it in your silent prayers. And heaven is simply returning to you what was promised, signed by God, and sealed with light. And now, beloved soul, as the celestial veil begins to lift, the invisible currents of heaven continue to move around you with divine intention. And Archangel Michael stands even closer now, his wings casting light across the very doorstep of your spirit. For this moment has been building not just for days or weeks, but for lifetimes. And what is about to unfold through this mysterious letter is not merely information. It is an inheritance of divine knowledge that has been waiting in the archives of eternity, sealed until your soul reached the frequency of spiritual maturity needed to receive it. And even though you may have felt forgotten or overlooked, every angel assigned to your journey has remained stationed at your side, waiting patiently, lovingly, through every season of doubt and silence, because heaven's timing cannot be rushed. And the message you are about to receive has been held back by God Himself for such a time as this. For if it had come sooner, you would not have understood it. And if it had come later, your opportunity might have slipped away. But now, here in this divine window, with the heavens alert and the air thick with purpose, the letter is approaching not with the rustle of paper, but with the thunder of destiny. And as you feel its nearness, something in your heart is already stirring, as if your spirit remembers a promise you made with God before you were even born. A promise to awaken when the time was right, and that time is now. For this letter contains a remembrance, a retrieval, a realignment, and it comes not to entertain, but to empower, not to decorate your thoughts, but to deliver your soul from everything that has tried to bury it beneath the weight of confusion, disappointment, and spiritual exhaustion. And Archangel Michael wants you to understand. This message is not coming from outside your life. It is coming from within your divine contract, from the very scroll that was written about you before the foundation of the earth. And it holds within it the sacred blueprint of your breakthrough. The reason you were fought so hard in recent seasons, the explanation behind every betrayal, every delay, every unanswered prayer that felt like a no, but was truly a not yet. And now the angels are leaning in, watching as the moment of delivery nears, because this message has been sent with an anointing that cannot be stopped or reversed. And you must understand that this letter may arrive in a form you do not expect. It could come as a conversation, a dream, a sudden insight, or a divine interruption that shakes the dust off your soul. And no matter how it appears, you will know it is from heaven, because it will recognize you before you even recognize it. It will speak to the hidden parts of you that have been silently waiting to be seen. It will confirm what your heart always suspected, but your mind was too afraid to believe. And it will carry with it an undeniable clarity, the kind that cannot be explained by logic or coincidence, because heaven does not deal in accidents, only appointments. And this appointment was written in a time with your name upon it, and no force of darkness, no whisper of doubt, no betrayal from man can erase what God has stamped with His own seal. And though others may dismiss you, overlook you, or mock the faith you carry, Archangel Michael reminds you now that this moment has nothing to do with them and everything to do with your covenant with God. And even now, as this message is being revealed, angels are activating around your home, shielding you from distractions, rerouting every spiritual interference, silencing every voice of confusion, because your soul must be still enough to receive what is coming. And this is why your days have felt heavy and your nights full of unrest. Not because you are failing, but because you are on the brink of receiving something that your spirit has been waiting its entire existence to remember. And it is this letter, this sacred unfolding, that will open your eyes to truths once veiled, will unlock gates once closed, and will deliver to you the reason behind every divine delay you've ever faced. And when it comes, you will not just read it. You will feel it, hear it, absorb it as if your heart has found a missing piece of itself. It will not only answer your questions, it will awaken your purpose. And those who once doubted your calling will begin to feel a stirring themselves. For when God moves, He moves in ways that shake the unseen world and shift the atmosphere around those who are chosen. And you, dear soul, have been chosen for this, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing, and your willingness is the key that opens the gate through which this letter will pass. So prepare yourself, not in fear, but in sacred anticipation, for what is coming is not just a message. It is a divine turning point wrapped in mystery, guided by Michael and signed by God Himself. And now, As the celestial realm grows more luminous and the veil between heaven and earth continues to thin, Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of your dwelling. Not just the place where you live, but the sacred chamber of your soul. And he urges you not to underestimate the divine orchestration taking place right now in realms your physical eyes cannot yet see. For the mysterious letter that is on its way to you is unlike anything you have received before. It is encoded not merely with words, but with frequencies designed to awaken your highest destiny. And that is why you've been feeling more emotional, more restless, more sensitive to energies and environments, because your spirit is bracing for a divine collision between what you thought your life was and what it was always meant to be. And this letter, this sacred carrier of truth, will not just arrive in your mailbox or inbox, but in your moment, in your spirit, in your destiny. And when it does, it will come with signs so bold and undeniable that your soul will tremble with recognition. And though the human mind may question, the soul will remember. And Archangel Michael wants you to know that this is no ordinary correspondence. This is heaven's confirmation of the silent prayers you've whispered into your pillow, the divine validation of dreams you've been too afraid to admit out loud. And it will not flatter you. It will free you from the chains of limitation, the curses of generational patterns, the expectations others have unfairly placed on your shoulders, and the illusions of scarcity that have made you forget how powerful you really are in God's kingdom. And when you finally open this message, in whatever form it chooses to manifest, you will feel the old layers of spiritual fog begin to lift, and the heaviness that has clung to your chest like invisible armor will begin to break. Because the vibration carried within this divine letter is one of release, of remembering, of royal reclamation. And even now, heaven is rearranging situations in your life, causing delays and redirections that may seem inconvenient, but are actually divine detours to ensure you are exactly where you need to be when the moment of delivery arrives. And you must trust this process, even when the way seems unclear, because this isn't just about receiving something external. This is about unlocking something internal that was buried beneath disappointments, betrayals, and spiritual fatigue. And Michael is making it clear. The enemy has tried to intercept this message many times, using people, chaos, and confusion to keep your spirit distracted and your focus scattered. But the moment has been protected by divine decree, and now nothing can stop what has been sent by the hand of God. And when it lands, whether through a conversation that gives you chills, a dream that won't leave you, a word that hits your spirit like lightning, you will know, not with your mind, but with your soul, that the letter has arrived, and it will read your heart more than you will read its lines. And it will begin to reorder your future with the language of heaven, calling forth every delayed promise and dormant gift you've carried in the silence of waiting. And there will be tears, not of grief, but of recognition, as you come into alignment with a version of yourself that has been waiting to emerge, hidden beneath the rubble of survival and fear. And Archangel Michael whispers now, the reason the battle has been so intense is because the enemy saw what was coming before you did. And yes, that is why your dreams were attacked, your spirit was drained, your faith was tested, because this moment, this message, this delivery carries too much light, too much truth, too much destiny for darkness to tolerate. And yet, it is coming anyway, because you were not forgotten, and the promise was never revoked, only delayed for the sake of divine timing. And now heaven watches, holding its breath, as you stand on the edge of revelation. And this letter will do more than inform you. It will initiate you. For you're not just being reminded of who you are, you're being commissioned into the next dimension of your calling. And those who once dismissed your anointing will soon be unable to ignore the glow that this message activates within you. Because when heaven speaks, it leaves evidence. And when heaven moves, it marks the ground it touches. And this letter will leave such a mark, not just on your life, but on the legacy you're building, the healing you're walking into, and the spiritual inheritance being unlocked through you. And so, prepare yourself not just with stillness, but with expectation, because what's coming is not simply an answer. It's a sacred announcement that the season of waiting is ending and the era of awakening is here. And now, the heavens lean closer than they ever have before, with Archangel Michael stretching wide his wings across the dimensions, shielding your household from every spiritual interference that would dare try to prevent what has been divinely scheduled. You may not have known it, but the battles you felt in your emotions, the sudden waves of weariness, the strange delays, and the unexpected confrontations were not random. They were triggered by the proximity of something sacred. The enemy knew before you did that your name had been written on a scroll in heaven, sealed with holy fire, and that a message would be sent with the power to change your lineage, unlock generational blessings, and break soul contracts made without your awareness. And so the enemy tried, relentlessly, to distract you from receiving it, to make you numb, cynical, tired, disconnected. But despite every weapon formed, the message survived. The angelic messengers have guarded it, hidden it in plain sight until the moment of divine delivery could not be delayed 1 second more. And now, Archangel Michael speaks with thunder in his voice and a sword in his hand. Prepare, for this is not just a message. It is your confirmation, your key, your release, your royal awakening. Heaven wants you to understand that what's coming to your doorstep, whether through a literal message, a prophetic dream, an unexpected phone call, or an unshakable inner knowing, is not small, symbolic, or vague. It is specific. It is alive. It carries the energy of breakthrough, the frequency of your next chapter, and the clarity you've begged God to send in your darkest moments. It is the evidence that you are never abandoned. It is the validation of every tear you've cried when no one was looking. It is the blueprint for the path you are about to walk. And it is bold because heaven is done whispering when it's time to declare. Archangel Michael shows you now a vision. Your home surrounded by angels, cloaked in golden light, while the forces of light stand guard, watching as this divine message is lowered gently into your spiritual atmosphere. And what is written upon it is not merely for your encouragement. It is for your activation. It will awaken the sleeping parts of you, the spiritual gifts you buried beneath trauma, the dreams you silenced to survive, the power you relinquished when you felt too unworthy to carry it. But heaven never withdrew the calling. It simply waited for your soul to be ready to remember. And now, Michael says, you are ready. This is the moment that shifts timelines. What you are about to receive will not just speak to you. It will summon a higher version of you. The version who no longer lives in fear of rejection, of abandonment, of failure. The version who rises when called, who hears the voice of God without confusion, who knows that obedience is not punishment, it is preparation. The version of you who is no longer reactive to the enemy's distractions, because you know who walks beside you and who stands above all. Archangel Michael is sending this message not as a distant being, but as your appointed warrior. He has been defending you since birth, pulling you out of unseen traps, wrestling spiritual darkness off your back in the hours you thought were just sleepless nights. Every panic attack, every moment you sat in silence trying to hold yourself together, every tear you cried into the night, heaven saw it. And this letter is proof that none of it was wasted. In fact, every pain you thought would destroy you has become the ink in which this message is written. And now, Michael declares this will be the hour when things begin to align in your favor at a speed that will leave you breathless. Doors that refused to open will now swing wide without you even knocking. Hearts that were closed to you will suddenly soften with no explanation. People who were against you will have no power to touch you, and everything that once intimidated you will now flee at your presence. Why? Because the message you're receiving carries divine authority. It is heaven's announcement that the hand of God is upon you. And when that truth enters your life, everything must bow to it. So hold nothing back. Expect the unexpected. Watch the signs. The numbers repeating, the song that won't stop playing, the conversation that stirs something deep in your soul. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. It's the letter whispering through time and spirit. I am on my way to you. And once you receive it, once you feel it resonate in the deepest parts of your being, you will never be the same. Because this isn't just a message. It's the beginning of your miracle. It's the map to the life you've been praying for. It's the moment heaven proves you were never forgotten, never abandoned, never overlooked. The letter is real, and it's almost at your door.